Your electric bill just went up again. And I know what you're thinking. It has always been like this. What can I do? But what if I told you that right now, in 2026, thousands of families across America have completely stopped paying electricity bills, stopped paying water bills, stopped fighting HOA rules, rising mortgage payments, and utility companies that raise their rates every single year. They did not win the lottery. They did not inherit money. They switched to a completely different kind of home, an L-shaped, off-grid home. And once you see what these homes can actually do for a family, the savings, the freedom, the design, you're going to wonder why you have never heard about this before. Stay with me through this entire video because at the end, I'm going to show you the exact breakdown of costs, systems, and layout choices that makes this work in 2026. Everything is backed by real data. No fluff, no hype. Let's get into it. Before we dive in, if you're new here, this channel is all about real housing solutions, real data, and real alternatives to a traditional home system that is frankly getting harder and harder to afford. Hit that subscribe button and smash the notification bell right now, because we drop content like this every single week, and trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. And if you know someone stuck in a cycle of rising bills and housing stress, share this video with them. It might be the most useful thing you do for them this year. Now let's talk about why families are making this move, and why the L shape specifically is so important to the whole equation. Here is what nobody is talking about honestly on mainstream media. The average American household is now paying $163 per month just for electricity. That is the national average as of April 2026, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. And that number has risen 26% in just 5 years, climbing from $129 a month back in 2022. 26% in 5 years. That is not normal inflation. That is a structural problem, and it is not slowing down. Utility companies are planning to spend up to $1.4 trillion on grid infrastructure between 2025 and 2030, according to Deloitte's power sector analysis. And guess who is paying for every dollar of that? You are, through your bill, every single month. Now stack electricity on top of your mortgage, water bill, gas bill, property taxes, and HOA fees, and you start to understand why so many families feel like they're running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. They work harder, earn more, and the bills just keep climbing anyway. And then there is the house itself. Traditional rectangular suburban homes, the standard American box, were designed for a world that no longer exists. They are energy inefficient by design. Most of their windows do not capture meaningful sunlight. Their roof lines are not optimized for solar panels. They were built to keep you dependent on the grid, because that was profitable for the companies selling energy to you. A growing number of families figured this out, and in 2026, they are building something completely different, something smarter, something shaped differently, literally. Let's get specific about what we are actually talking about here. An L-shaped home is exactly what it sounds like. A house built in the footprint of the letter L. Two wings that meet at a corner. But that simple shape change does something extraordinary, and architects and energy engineers have known about it for decades. That corner, where the two wings of the L meet, creates a protected outdoor courtyard. It is sheltered from wind, naturally shaded at different parts of the day, and completely private from the street. Think of it as your family's outdoor living room, enclosed on two sides by your own home. Now here is where the off-grid equation comes in. The L shape is nearly ideal for passive solar design and renewable energy integration. The two external roof surfaces of the L give you significantly more area than a standard box home of the same square footage. More roof area means more room for solar panels. When you orient the L correctly, with the longer wing running east to west and maximum south-facing exposure, those panels are capturing sunlight at peak efficiency throughout the entire day. Research cited by the U.S. Department of Energy has shown that smart placement in L-shaped designs can cut annual energy use by at least 15% compared to standard rectangular homes. And that is before you even add a solar system. Now here is a detail that separates genuinely smart off-grid designs from average ones. That courtyard nook is not just beautiful. When you surface it with dark-stained concrete or natural stone, it becomes a thermal mass zone. The dense material absorbs heat from the sun during the day, then slowly radiates that warmth into the adjacent rooms through the night. In 2026, this is one of the most talked about details in off-grid family home design, because it dramatically reduces how hard your heating system has to work in winter with zero ongoing cost. The interior flow of the L also separates your public zones, the kitchen, dining area, and living room, from the private zones, the bedrooms, bathrooms, and home office, without needing a long wasted hallway. One wing is social, the other is quiet. Kids and adults have clearly defined spaces. Privacy is built right into the shape of the house. And for families with children, that protected courtyard is something parents genuinely dream about. A completely safe, private outdoor space where kids can play freely while parents have clear sight lines from the kitchen or living room. No fence required. The house itself does the enclosing. So why are families actually doing this? Let's go deeper than just the electric bill, because the reasons are more layered than most people realize. Reason 1. The numbers actually work. Off-grid families report saving between $200 and $500 per month once their systems are fully operational. Over 10 years, that is $24,000 to $60,000 in eliminated utility costs. Solar panel systems today typically pay themselves back in 7 to 11 years, and then generate free power for decades after that. The global off-grid housing market was valued at $2.59 billion in 2024 and is projected to grow at nearly 8% annually through 2032. This is not a fringe movement. This is a market responding to genuine, widespread demand. Reason 2. Energy independence is no longer optional for some families. With electricity rates jumping as much as 9% in high-demand states like Massachusetts, Maine, and California this year alone, and with structural increases projected to continue nationwide as utilities spend trillions on grid hardening and infrastructure, families are looking for a permanent exit from this cycle. An off-grid home with solar, battery storage, and a rainwater collection system gives a family what no amount of efficiency upgrades to a traditional home can provide: complete independence from rate hikes. The utility company can raise rates all at once. It simply does not apply to you anymore. Reason 3. The technology has finally caught up. This is the part that changed everything. A few years ago, off-grid meant sacrifice, inconsistent power, limited water, no internet. In 2026, that story is completely outdated. Modern monocrystalline solar panels now achieve 24 to 27% efficiency. Lithium iron phosphate battery banks, known as LiFePO4, can store enough power to run a family home through multiple cloudy days. Prices on these battery systems have dropped significantly in the last 18 months, with a 10 to 20 kilowatt-hour system now running between $7,500 and $13,000 before labor. Gravity-fed UV water filtration systems can purify hundreds of gallons per day. Smart home monitors track every watt and every liter your family uses in real time. High-speed satellite internet reaches virtually anywhere. You can have hot showers, refrigeration, a full home office setup, streaming services, and a modern kitchen, all completely off the grid. Off-grid living in 2026 is not about what you give up. It is about what you take back. Reason 4. Children thrive in this environment. Here is something the data consistently shows, and that parents in off-grid communities overwhelmingly report. Kids do better. They are outside more. They are on screens less. They learn practical skills like gardening, basic repair, and resource awareness that no classroom teaches. Children raised in off-grid households tend to become more resourceful, more environmentally conscious, and more resilient problem solvers. In a world that increasingly values adaptability, that is a remarkable advantage to give a child. Reason 5. The psychological freedom is real. There is a dimension to this that is harder to quantify, but that off-grid families talk about constantly. When your home does not have a utility bill, when you're not dreading the next rate hike or worrying about a 3-day power outage, something shifts in your quality of life in a very real way. Research consistently shows that off-grid residents report lower stress levels and significantly higher life satisfaction scores than their grid-connected peers. When you control your own energy and water, you have eliminated 2 of the biggest chronic stressors in modern household life. Now let's put the L shape and the off-grid systems together, because this is where it gets genuinely interesting. The energy system. The long southern-facing roof of the L, typically the wing that holds the kitchen, dining area, and living room, becomes your solar array. In 2026, a well-designed residential solar system with Leaf APO4 battery storage costs between $16,000 and $25,000 after the 30% federal tax credit, which runs through 2032. That same wing incorporates passive solar principles, large south-facing windows, thermal mass flooring made from concrete or stone, correctly designed roof overhangs that block intense summer sun while letting in the lower winter sun. The result is a home that assists its own heating in winter and stays naturally cooler in summer, with minimal mechanical load. The International Energy Agency reported that off-grid solar installations grew 32% globally in 2025. Tiny home and off-grid homeowners are among the top adopters of this technology. The infrastructure is mature, reliable, and well-supported. The water system, the courtyard of the L, that protected nook at the corner, is the perfect location for a rainwater collection garden. Gutters from both wings channel water into a cistern. Modern UV purification systems make that water completely safe for all household uses, including drinking. Many families combine rainwater collection with a shallow well on their property. The recommended minimum lot size for comfortable off-grid living is 1.5 acres. At that size, a family can manage water independently, maintain a productive garden, and have genuine outdoor space for both recreation and food growing. The courtyard is a food and thermal system. The protected courtyard of the L is an ideal microclimate for a kitchen garden, sheltered from wind on 2 sides, with controlled sun exposure through the open side, and surfaced with dark stone or concrete that holds heat through the night. The courtyard earns its keep in multiple ways simultaneously. A well-planned 1,000 square foot garden can provide for most of a family's produce needs. Combined with a small composting system, modern composting toilets are genuinely odor-free and produce fertilizer. A family can achieve a remarkable level of food independence on relatively modest land. The layout as a family life system. The private sleeping wing of the L, oriented away from the courtyard and road, gives bedrooms the quiet and darkness they need. Parents and children have clearly defined zones within the same home. Remote workers get a dedicated office space in the quieter wing, separated from the social energy of the kitchen and living areas. Families consistently report that the zone separation built into the L shape reduces household friction significantly. The design creates space for everyone's needs without requiring enormous square footage. I'm going to be honest with you about costs, because a lot of channels gloss over this part. Let's go through the real numbers. Land. A 1.5 to 2 acre rural parcel suitable for off-grid living typically runs $20,000 to $30,000, depending on state and region. For some rural land within an hour of a city, that number is more likely to be $45,000 or more in 2026, depending on how far you are willing to drive to the nearest grocery store. The home structure. A stick-frame L-shaped home at a modest 900 to 1,200 square feet, perfectly livable for a family of 4 with smart design, costs approximately $150,000 to $200,000 to build. That works out to roughly $125 to $160 per square foot, which aligns with current 2026 construction cost data. Prefab and modular L-shaped options are also coming to market that offer faster build times, factory quality control, and in some cases pricing that comes in under $150,000 for the structure. These are particularly well suited to remote lots because the home is engineered off-site and assembled quickly, reducing on-site labor costs significantly. The solar and battery system. A complete solar array with Leaf APO 4 battery storage runs between $16,000 and $25,000 after the 30% federal tax credit. Battery prices alone have dropped substantially over the last 18 months, with a 10 to 20 kilowatt-hour system now available in the $7,500 to $13,000 range before installation. This system powers the entire home indefinitely, with quality panels lasting 25 to 30 years. The water system. A complete rainwater collection, storage, and UV purification system combined with a basic well runs approximately $8,000 to $15,000, depending on your region and soil conditions. Total all-in. Realistically, a family can be fully operational in an L-shaped off-grid home for a total investment in the range of $200,000 to $270,000. That covers land, the home structure, the energy system, and the water system. Now compare that to the national median list price of a traditional American home, which as of Q2 2026 sits at approximately $395,000 according to Zillow and Redfin data, and which still comes with a monthly electricity bill averaging $163, plus all other utilities, plus no energy independence whatsoever. The off-grid L-shaped home is not just a lifestyle choice. At these numbers, it is a compelling financial decision. Most off-grid homeowners recoup their full system investment within 7 to 10 years through eliminated bills alone. Because this channel is built on honest information and not just selling you a dream, here are the genuine challenges of this path. First, it is legal to live off-grid in all 50 states, but local building codes and zoning regulations vary widely. In 2026, one of the biggest practical hurdles is not the solar installation itself. It is minimum square footage requirements. Many counties still require homes to be at least 1,000 square feet, which actually fits the family-sized L shape we have been describing, but you need to verify the specific rules for your target county before you purchase land. Second, rainwater harvesting regulations differ significantly by state. Some states actively encourage it. A small number have restrictions. Research your state's rules before designing your water system. Third, the upfront capital requirement is real. If you do not have access to $200,000 to $270,000 in savings, land equity, or financing, this is not immediately accessible for every family. Owner-builder approaches, where you handle significant portions of the construction yourself, can bring costs down considerably, but they require time and skill. Fourth, off-grid living requires what people in the community call a stewardship mindset. You are managing your own energy and water. There is ongoing maintenance. Systems need monitoring. It is not passive in the way that paying a utility bill is passive. Most families describe this shift as ultimately rewarding, but it is a genuine change in how you relate to your home. Fifth, the L shape performs best on medium to large lots. If you are on a tight urban lot, the full benefits of the courtyard and the solar orientation are harder to realize. This design truly shines on rural or semi-rural land. So who is actually making this move right now? In 2026, off-grid living has genuinely moved beyond its roots as an extreme lifestyle for survivalists or back-to-the-land idealists. The demographics are broad and growing. Families with young children who want space, outdoor access, and a safe environment without the ever-rising cost of suburban living. Remote workers who have location flexibility and realize they can trade expensive suburban square footage for own land with a purpose-built home and no utility bills. Retirees on fixed incomes who want to eliminate utility costs permanently and live debt-free on land they own outright. Entrepreneurial households who see the long-term financial math clearly and want to build equity in an asset that is not dependent on grid infrastructure or rising mortgage rates. And increasingly, professionals, educators, and healthcare workers who previously never imagined themselves as off-grid types, who have simply done the math and concluded that this is the smarter choice for their family's future. As one 2026 publication put it, off-grid living is no longer about escaping modern life. It is about redefining it on more sustainable and flexible terms. Let me leave you with this thought. The average American household is going to pay nearly $2,000 this year in electricity alone. Next year it will be more. The year after, more again. The national residential electricity rate has climbed 26% in 5 years. Utility companies have $1.4 trillion in planned infrastructure spending to pass on to customers between now and 2030. That is the trajectory of the traditional home in 2026. Rising costs, grid dependence, and a housing market where even a median list price of nearly $400,000 still comes with decades of utility bills attached. Or you build something different. An L-shaped home on land you own. Power by the sun, water by the sky. Designed with a thermal mass courtyard that heats itself through the night. A layout that gives every member of your family their own zone, their own space, their own peace. A home that pays you back year after year in eliminated bills and unmatched independence. Thousands of families are already living this way. The technology is here. The knowledge is available. The only real question is whether this path fits your family's vision. If this video sparks something for you, drop a comment below and tell me what you want covered next. Are you thinking about land selection, solar system sizing, the exact floor plan details for an L-shaped family home? Let me know and I will build a video around your questions. Subscribe if you have not already. I will see you in the next one.